Hari Om, everyone.
Yo,
Happy New Year. A month late. Shall we begin? Om. 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 Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Samastajana Kalyani Niratam Karunamaya Namami Chinmayam Devam Satgurum Brahma Vidvaram. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhraktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Gururadirnadischa Guru Paramadaivatam Guru Parataram Nasti Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Na Gururadikam Tattvam Na Gururadikam Tapaha Tattvajnana Param Nasti Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Harihi Om. Welcome back, everyone. It's been almost 3 months. I think we left mid-November, it's mid-February. Hopefully we all remember what the text is and what the theme is. I'll quickly recap so we all know what we're doing. Hopefully you've all memorized the 8 verses so far. Anyone hasn't memorized it? Okay. Let's start with the first verse. Who wants to chant it? Anyone?
Happy to.
Go ahead.
Yo Brahmanam vidadati purvam yo vai vedanscha prahinoti tasmai tamha devam atma buddhi prakasha mumukshur vai sharanam aham prapadye.
Excellent. So this is Shvetashvatara Upanishad, Mangalacharan, auspicious invocation before you begin any text, but a unique one in which it also points to the subject matter. Yo Brahmana Vidadati Purvam, Yo Vai Vedamscha Prahinoti Tasmai, Tamha Devam Atma Buddhi Prakasham, Mumukshurvai Sharanam Aham Prapadye. To that Brahman who gave to Brahma in the very beginning these Vedas, which is the means of self-knowledge, to that Param Purusha Paramatma, I surrender Sharanam because I am a Mumukshu. So a lot of concepts are introduced there. So it begins with, I'm a Mumukshu, I'm seeking that from that Param Purusha Brahman. Shvetashvatara Upanishad. Okay, then, so let's look at the thought development and how Guruji has strung these together. They're not random. So then, as a Mumukshu, what do I do next? The next shloka, who wants to chant it? Bharati ji?
I will try. Parikshalokan karmachitan brahmano nirvedamayannaha satyakruta krutena तद्विज्ञानार्थं स गुरुमेवाभिगच्छेत् समित्पाणिः श्रोत्रियं ब्रह्मनिष्ठम्.
Excellent. Mundakopanishad. So now I'm a mumukshu. What do I do then? Parikshalokan karmachitan brahmana. After examining life in its entirety, not just in this loka, but all the possible lokas in all field of experiences in this world and outside, whatever may be lying promised for me, Nirvedamayatna asti kritakatena. I develop a dispassion in recognizing that in whatever experience I garner in any loka is finite and transient and temporary. There is no permanence in those experiences. Tat vijnanartham sa gurumeva abhigachet. On understanding that, he goes to a guru. Who's the guru? Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam. So the Guru Lakshana is now indicated here. When we say where do I find a Guru, who should I go to? The Guru Lakshana is given here. Shishya Lakshana, he's a Mumukshu. He goes to a Guru. And the Guru Lakshana is given as one who's a Shrotriya Brahmanishta. Okay. Then the next thought development, again, from the Mundakopanishad, is how do I go to a Guru? Verse number 3, who also chanted? Yes, Jayashriji.
तस्मै स विद्वान् उपसन्नया सम्यक् प्रशान्तचित्ताय समान्विताय येनाक्षरं पुरुषं वेद सत्यं प्रोवाच तां तत्त्वतो ब्रह्मविद्याम्.
Excellent. Mundakopanishad, it continues the same theme. Tasmai savidvan upasannaya samyak. Prashant, let's begin. Tasmai savidvan upasannaya samyak. So he must approach the Guru with due humility. Prashanta chittaya shamanvitaya. He should have attained a certain level of quietude of the mind through shama, dhamma, uparama, and so on. Some degree of quietude of the mind, because he realizes that there's no more infinitude possible from finite experiences. So he's diminished his finite interactions with the world to a certain extent. His mind is quietened to a certain degree. Yenaksharam Purusha Veda Satyam. Now he has to understand from the Guru, who is this Purusha? He must know who is this infinite truth that he is seeking. He has no idea what he's seeking, but he knows there's something eternal, something infinite out there. And what is the Guru Lakshana? What is the Guru's responsibility? He has to teach him nothing but Brahma Vidyam. Provachatam Tattvato Brahma Vidyam. Not let's start a Gaushala, but let us start a business, but only Brahma Vidya he must teach him. This is from Mundakopanishad. Okay. So the thought development, now he's introduced something called Brahma Vidya. I must learn from the Guru. What is Brahma Vidya? Next verse number, I believe it's 4. And that goes to the Taittiriya Upanishad. Anyone? Yes, Meeraji.
Satyam jnanam anatma brahma yo veda nihitam guhayam yam parame vyoman shosnute sarvan kaman saha brahmana vipaschiteti.
Good try. Taittiriya Upanishad. It's a very popular verse, a very famous verse. Satyam jnanam anantam brahma. So this, what we are seeking, this eternal, which we all have no clue about, is Satyam Jnanam Anantam. It is truth, the reality. Jnanam, knowledge of the nature of consciousness. Anantam, it is infinite, of the nature of Anandam. So Satchidanandam, Satyam Jnanam Anantam. That's what it is. Yo Veda Nihitam Guhayam. It should be known in the, it is hidden where? Parame Vyoman, in the cave of my own heart. I must know this Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma in the cave of my own heart. So why? Svoshnute, by knowing that, by realizing that, sarvan kaman saha, all my desires at one in one stroke get fulfilled. Every desire I ever entertained is fulfilled. Because I've become infinite. If I've become infinite, there's no question of me having any plus ones possible, any desire to add anything to infinity. Brahmana vipaschiteti, and it is realized as chit, as consciousness. This truth, which is satyam jnanam anantam, which is in the cave of my own heart, upon gaining which all my desires get fulfilled in one stroke, that is to be realized as chit, consciousness. That's Brahma Vidya. Now you say, okay, that's good, but I'm just an individual. I am this jiva here.
Sorry,
And
Suresh,
yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. That last word, vipaschit, is also self-illumining, right?
You could call it self-awareness, self-illumining, but the word chit implies it's consciousness, it's awareness, and that's what we need to realize. So I've got this jiva bhava. I'm a limited individual. At best, I'll say I'm a jivatma. There's an atma in me, which is enlivening me. Now you're talking this Brahman out there. Okay, that's good. So what's the relationship now? So what am I? What is this jivatma that I'm talking about? That takes us to the next verse. I think it's verse number 5. I can't remember. Anyone wants to chant that? Yes, Smita.
Divyo yamurtah purushas sabhahyabhyanantaro yajaha apramano yamana shubhra yaksharat paratah paraha.
Okay, I believe that's Mundaka Upanishad as well. So this is actually, if you in Vedanta, if you take any class, these two verses are critical. What is Brahman? Taittiriya Upanishad, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. What is Jivatma? What is this Atma? The most beautiful definition is given here. Divyo Hyamurta Purusha. And this we've discussed it. Divyo Hyamurta Purusha simply translates into Satchit Ananda Satyam Jnanam Anantam. Sabahya Bhyantara Yajaha, which means it is inside, it is outside, it is formless. Yajaha, unborn. Aprano ammanaha shubbraha. If we thought I am the body, I am the pranas, I am the mind, I am the intellect, apranaha, ammanaha, shubbraha, pure, untainted, not the body, not the mind, not the pranas. So whatever I thought I was, it's saying you're not. Yaksharat parata paraha, it is even beyond the unmanifested. So here you've been given the definition of Brahma Vidya, which is Brahman. You've been given the definition of Atma, which is when you equate the two, one is Satchit Ananda, the other is Satyam Jnanam Anantam. Both are formless, both are unlimited, both are unborn, both are beyond time, space, causation. Interesting. So then the answer is placed before you, but to make it crystal clear, the thought goes into the next verse, which is it 6? Anyone? Yes, Rajesh.
Yat param brahma sarvatma vishvasyayatanam mahat sukshmat sukshmataram nityam tattvameva tvameva tat. Hari Om.
Kaivalya Upanishad. Now, the I'm a Jivatma, there's the Brahmatma. Now what do? Well, in the seat of meditation, Kaivalya Upanishad, with this one alone, says what? Yat param Brahma Sarvatma. This Brahma is the Atma of all, is Sarvatma. All the Atmas is Brahman put together. Vishwasya Ayatana Mahat. This Brahman is the Ayatanam, the support, the substratum of this, the support of this Vishwa, of this entire universe. Yet, Sukshmat, Sukshmataram Nityam. It is subtler than the subtlest. And then to hammer home this point, Tat Tvameva Tvameva Tat. That Brahman which we thought is out there somewhere, some God sitting somewhere, this Atma that is limited and finite in my own heart as I currently perceive it, is one and the same. In the seat of meditation, that's what happens. Tat Tvameva Tvameva Tat. This Brahmatmaikya Bodha, Brahma, Atma, Eka, Bodha, Brahmatmaikya Bodha. This knowledge of the oneness of Atman and Brahman is indicated here in this verse, Kaivalya Upanishad. Thought development continues. Fine. Then what happens when I realize this oneness between the Brahman and the Atman? I think it's mantra number 7. Is it 7? Yeah. Mantra number 7 would be Ishavasya Upanishad. Anyone? Yes, Bharti.
यस्तु सर्वाणि भूतानि आत्मन्येवानुपश्यति सर्वभूतेषु चात्मानं ततो न विजुगुप्सते.
Yastu sarvani bhutani atmani eva anupashyati. Sarva bhuteshu cha atmanam tato na vijugupsate. Yastu sarvani bhutani. When I see all the beings, atmani eva anupashyati, as my own self. Sarva bhuteshu cha atmanam, and I see myself in all the bhutas, in all creatures. 2 ways. The ocean, the waves, I see the waves are in the ocean, and I see that the ocean are in the waves. Both. Then it is complete. Tato na vijugupsate. When I see oneness between myself and everything in me. So either I see me in everything, either I see everything in me, and me in everything means I see everything as an appearance in me. Then tatona vijugupsate, where is there room for hatred, dislike, aversions? Because there's nothing other than me. This is the vision of a man of realization. One who's gone through those 7 steps in Yoga Vasishta, from Shivecha all the way to Nirvikalpa Samadhi, and now is a Jivan Mukta Purusha. Who remembers the 7 steps in Yoga Vasishta, by the way?
You mean starting with Shubhecha?
Yeah,
Should I go on?
yeah, go on.
Shubhecha, Vicharana, Tanumanasa, Sattvapati, Asamsakti.
Excellent.
I'll stop there.
Padartha Bhavana, Nirvikalpa Samadhi,
Turiya.
which is Nirvikalpa Samadhi,
Right.
followed by Jivan Mukti and Videha Mukti. Well done, Sandeep. Well done. That's not easy to remember. And the only reason to remember that is where am I in that journey? That's the only reason to remember those 7 steps. Okay, so this we concluded there, which was the vision of a man of realization, one who's realized this Ekatva, this Brahma, Atma, Eka, Bodha, who's getting that, who's realized this Tat, Tvameva, Tat, as given in Kaivalya Upanishad. What is his vision? Well, given that this realization of oneness, there's no room for hatred of anything. So that's where we end. That's Ishavasya Upanishad, Ishavasya. Vas, one who pervades, Isha pervades the entire universe. What is his vision? Continuing on the same theme, again in Ishavasya Upanishad, we will continue with verse number, I think it's 8. It is verse number 8. So we had the Shantipat, and then there's the 8th mantra, the vision of oneness. So we continue with Ishavasya Upanishad. Unless there are any questions before I start.
I missed the 7 steps. Sorry.
The 7th?
Rajesh here. I missed the 7 steps that Sandeep referred to.
Oh, that
where
was
you are in the journey.
That's another text we did. Yoga Vasishtha.
Oh.
I digressed there just to see if we can remember.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Thank you.
Okay, so this verse number 8 is also from the Ishavasya Upanishad. It's along a similar theme, and it says, Yasmin Sarvani Bhutani, if I can chant it, Yasmin Sarvani Bhutani Atmeva Bhut Vijanatah Tatra ka moha ka shoka ekatvam anupashyatah. Similar. Yasmin Sarvani Bhutani Atma eva Bhut Vijanatah Tatra ka moha ka shoka ekatvam anupashyatah. Yasmin Kale, at that time of realization, at the time when what? Previously it said, Yastu Sarvani Bhutani Atmani eva anupashyati Sarva Bhuteshu cha Atmanam. When that happens, Yasmin Kale, when he realizes this oneness between himself and everything and himself, at that time, Sarvani Bhutani Atmaiva Abhut Vijanata. Vijanata, this knower of this oneness between Brahma and Atma, this person, what happens? Tatra ka moha, tatra ka shokaha. Moha is an interesting word. Moha means delusion. Moha has many meanings. From delusion, you get lack of discrimination. From lack of discrimination, we get infatuation, attraction, aversion. All those are derivatives of moha. So this verse is saying, when this person, ekatvam anupashyata, when he sees this oneness between Atma and Brahman, after anu, interesting word is used here, anupashyataha. Anu means after. We do this every day. Our aarti. Na tatra suryo bhati, na chandra tarakam, nema vidyutu bhanti kuto yam agnihi, tameva bhantam anubhati. After the light of consciousness, do all these other lights of the sun, the stars, and the moons come about. Anu means after. So after this Upadesha, he's done Shravana Manana Nidhyasana, he's finally realized the truth between the Atman and Brahman. Tatra ka moha ka shokaha. Before we get into that, let's try and understand this vision of the man of wisdom. When I'm dreaming, in that dream, I am the dreamer. I've got an identification of myself as the dreamer. There is the dream world, the dream things, the dream beings, the dream experiences, which are different from me. The experience is intense, it is real. The sorrow I feel is real and intense. When I wake up from the dream, I realize that everything in the dream was me, the dreamer itself. The whole experience I had was me, myself. The objects, the things, the beings were not different from the dreamer. And on waking up, I realized that all that was me myself. So if I had a fight in the dream with somebody, on waking up, I don't go to seek revenge. If I was very sad because in the dream something happened to me, on waking up, I don't feel sad at all. Just reflect on that. Yasmin sarvani bhutani atma eva abhut vijanatah. Tatra ka moha, tatra ka shokah, ekatvam anupashyatah. The man of wisdom, when he wakes up, quote unquote wakes up, sees this entire waking state as nothing but his dream, and he has woken up from that dream. That's the best analogy we can get to understanding the vision of a man of wisdom. When I wake up from a dream, I see myself in all the objects in the dream, and all the objects are in me. On waking up, I'm unaffected by all that because I know all that dream, the dreamer, the dream experiences is nothing but me alone. The difference is the man of wisdom wakes up from the waking state and recognizes that the waking state was his dream. Now, moha and shoka. We've heard this over and over in every text. Shoka is the effect. Shoka means sorrow, grief. Moha is the cause. An effect cannot be without a cause. The effect is the cause in different forms. From the effect, you remove the cause, nothing remains. Logic of spirituality, self-unfoldment. All the sorrows we go through are effects. They are the effects of the cause. The mool, the karana, the cause is moha. Moha means ignorance, lack of discrimination, leading to infatuation, attraction, so many different things. But it loosely is used as delusion. But there are two aspects to moha. Lack of an understanding of what my identity is, leading to confusion about what my duties are. If I do not know what my identity is, and then I get confused about my duties, the combination is known as moha. When we go to an office and I am told I am the plumber, I know my identity, I know my duties is to fix the plumbing. If I don't know I'm the plumber, and I happen to have a degree in accounting, I may stroll into the treasurer's office and say, can I do the accounting today? In life, we go through our entire life, and whenever we're confused about our duties, is because we do not have a complete understanding of our identity. If I'm a mother, I know my duties. If I'm a son, I know my duties. If I'm a sevak, I know my duties. If that identity is not concrete, there's confusion about the duties. Moha leads, and when there's confusion about the duties, it leads to shoka. From a spiritual standpoint, moha is not knowing our absolute true identity. As a result of which, I do not know I'm complete. I'm Satyam Jnanam Anantam. I think I'm Jiva. I'm limited. And therefore, there's not knowing my identity, there's confusion about my roles and responsibilities. And what do? I superimpose happiness on every object, every place, everything, every situation, and then seek that happiness which I already am in external objects and things, resulting in attraction, repulsion from everything else. And that is known as moha. This attraction to things and beings is natural because the world is very glamorous, and therefore we get entangled in them, and they do not give us the desired result, giving us shoka, grief. Shoka, grief, is of regrets of the past. Shoka, sorrow, is of things happening in the present. Shoka, grief, is of my imaginations of what may happen in the future. There's a third factor to moha. There are many derivatives, but three main. Moha leads to shoka, and that leads to bhaya, fear. That's why it says, how do you know a man of wisdom? Abhaya, fearless. We'll talk more about bhaya later, but here it's enough to know that moha, shoka, and bhaya is what collectively is known in Vedanta as samsara. Yasmin sarvani bhutani atma eva abhut vijanatah tatra ka moha ka shokah ekatvam anupashyatah. In the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna started confused and he had shoka, grief. The whole of the Bhagavad Gita was to remove his moha, delusion. And at the end, Krishna asks him, has your moha gone? He does not ask him, has your shoka gone? Because if moha is gone, that's the cause, shoka automatically goes away. So our life is simply a pendulum oscillating moha, shoka, bhaya, moha, shoka, bhaya, moha, shoka, bhaya. That's it. Different expressions of the same three themes. So this is saying Yasmin Kali, Yasmin Sarvani Bhutani, at the time of realization, when he sees oneness in everything, this knower, where is the question of moha and shoka for this person? When he sees ekatvam anupashyata, when he sees oneness everywhere. It's a beautiful verse from Ishavasya Upanishad. And that ends this theme of the vision of the man of wisdom. What happens from beginning when we started as a mumukshu? We have a desire to know. We don't know what. We go to the Guru, who's a Shrotriya Brahmanishta. He gives us Brahma Vidya. The definition of Atma Vidya was also done. Then we had Kaivalya Upanishad saying Atma and Brahman are one and the same. On realizing that, what happens? These last two verses gives us Tato na vijugupsate. There's no aversion, dislike for anything. There is no moha, no shoka, no bhaya. Questions? The beauty of this text is the thought development. If we pay attention to the thought development, it will crystallize in our minds whatever confusions we have. And only a master like Guruji could pick these verses. The next theme we'll come to next week is because again, the thought development, fine, this is all great. How do I get to become a man of wisdom? How do I get to know this vision of truth? How do I see this tattvameva tameva tat? And we've been taught, use your mind. And we say, wait a second. You said this is beyond the mind. This is behind the mind. The mind is enlivened by it. But again, you're saying, with the mind, you need to realize it. How can I know or realize that which is beyond the mind, which enlivens the mind, which cannot be known by the mind, and yet the mind is the only means I have to know it? This is a riddle. The next verse will take that up, and that's from Kathopanishad. How do I use the mind to know what is not knowable by the mind? And what happens if I do not know this truth in this lifetime? Or we leave that for next week. Kathopanishad. I'm done. Over to you guys. Any thoughts on the text, the verses, thought formation?
Suresh, I've got a question. When we did the Ishavasya some time ago, the question is obviously seeing everyone as the one truth and seeing the truth in everyone. So you see the Lord as everyone and you see everyone as the Lord. You can see the Lord in everyone to a certain extent, depending on the level of your raga dvesha. However, to see the Lord in to see everything as the Lord seems a bit impossible.
I think what you're saying is it's easier to see the Lord in everyone because you can understand they're all,
Or see the other way around. Yeah.
they're all alive. So yes, I can see the Lord in everyone.
Yeah.
But to see myself in everyone, that's hard.
That's hard.
That's hard. And that's where the realization comes. It's easy to see, yes, everybody is consciousness, everybody is
it's a generalization.
So it's like the ocean saying, I see all these waves, they're dancing in me, some are big, some are small, but then this one is too big and it's got a big ego, this is a small one, it's got a small ego, but they're waves, I'll tolerate them. But for the ocean to say, those are nothing but my own wave, my own water, that's when realization is complete.
Yeah, I think one tries to rationalize is that surely I'm not like that. Surely I'm not like this, and how can that be me? And it's so seriously. There's still some discrimination. I know high level of discrimination to be done where that's concerned. So yeah, that's still my sole point at the moment.
That realization that all these waves are nothing but oceanic waters leads to the realization that it was all an appearance in me, abhasa. And that's the critical point. If there was an appearance in me, then all my dream and dream world was an appearance in me. That's it. That's the hard part.
Very easy to say. And I think intellectually we are convinced of it. We're not saying it isn't, but the application of those teachings gets you riled, especially when you're with people, not so much with things and situations, because you can't argue with them, but with people, it's quite difficult. I'm sure it can be overcome with the right thinking. I just got to work on it.
The one message I got from Guruji in this whole trip, which hit me, and I think Shripya was there, and we looked at each other after he said that. He said, everybody studies Vedanta as Grihastha Vedanta. everybody. And he didn't explain, but what I got from there is, what can I get out of Vedanta other than I am unlimited Brahman? I want to be a good Hindu, I want to be a good Muslim, I want to be a good doctor, I want to be a good mother, I want to be a good father, I want to make money, I want to do pa, 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 pa. Grihastha Vedanta. How many study for the sake of that and that alone is known as Sannyas Vedanta. And he did not qualify, he said, everybody studies Vedanta as Grihastha Vedanta. And until you switch to Sannyas Vedanta, kuch nahi hoga.
We're all still in a transactional Vedanta situation. Interesting. Thank you.
So we don't have to wait for that to happen. Do I see oneness in everybody, or why don't I? It will happen. And when it happens, you will laugh at yourself. That I was playing my whole life worrying about my dreams.
Looking at the example of ocean and wave, I think if we start from the basis of there's water, then perhaps we can see that, yes, there are waves, there's the ocean as a body. Yeah, but not the gross kind of body example. But I think our basis of looking at things is, even in that example of wave and ocean, we're still giving identity as this is ocean, these are the waves. But if our base start point is this is water, then there is no ocean and there is no wave. Everything is just water. Yeah. So then you can have that oneness, but it's the right thinking which we have to develop, the purity of mind. And that's tough to get to, seeing everything as water. Then this is this man, this is, but he is all, no big wave, no small wave. It's all water. So our starting point of that example is, if we start from everything is water, then we don't, the wave and ocean doesn't even come into it, which is essentially that is water. So everything is Brahman, and this is a little wave called Nina, and this is a big wave who knows a lot called Suresh, but essentially it is all Brahman. But that's the tough thing. And then Jayashree Ji's example, I think we all go through it because we take ourselves so seriously, that yes, you can see that, there is Brahman in everybody, but I'm not in them because I am this, or I know this, or I'm capable of this. So it's this sense of me being taken so seriously. If we can only learn to say, not take ourselves so seriously, then maybe we can start identifying with everybody as one. I think that's probably, I find, and I'm sure Jayashree does too, that, that stops us because we take ourselves so seriously. So we don't see ourselves as the water who is also Jayashree Ji, or who's also this little child, or, so that's what I'm trying to slowly get to. But yeah, that's the problem I find.
Yes, Peter.
So coming back to Jayashree Ji's point, yes, we all face this situation. So is it our ego that is preventing us from looking at somebody's sorrows and trying to help them, and we place ourselves in a superior position? Do we do that? I think the compassion is not genuine. Do we falter on that? Is because we don't see this oneness? Is it the ego that is preventing us?
It is the moha, it is the delusion. I'll come back to those of you who are grandparents, when you see your grandchild, do you say, let me develop discrimination? This is my grandchild. He's a different body, but maybe I can start to like him or her. You spontaneously just go and hug that kid like it's your own. That spontaneous, natural, genuine love for your grandchild, to the extent it becomes wider and wider, is a measure of one's spiritual growth. Otherwise, we just intellectualize. Effectively, what it's saying is love all. And the more you try to intellectualize love, the more you're concretizing and compartmentalizing who you are. And that's what we do.
Can I just make a point on what Smita just said? Do we actually apply compassion or administer compassion? Do we have a feeling of compassion with ulterior motives? No, I don't think so. I think if we see somebody falling down or crying or something, your heart goes out to them. And I don't think there is any motive in it or any feelings about it. It's just genuine. Like you said, I see my grandchild, not that I have any, but I see my grandchild and I automatically, spontaneously go with love towards it. And I think we do that to any human being, even if it's someone we don't like, we will still go and help them, not because we want anything from them, but that is our nature. And that's when we need to see, and then you sit back and think, oh my God, did I really help her? Because I don't like her. And that's when the thought comes in afterwards. But you think, well, actually, I did that because at that time, I wasn't focusing on whether I like the person or not. You just do it. You see, so that's why sometimes we don't know, or we're not pointing ourselves in or thinking who we are when we really try and help somebody or not help somebody. There is no motive. It's just your nature. And we need to come to understand that fact. That's all.
Well put. Yes, Nisha.
Says the person who didn't learn the verses. I've just been sort of reading the Gita again, and I think it's the beginning of chapter 11 when you see the Virat Swarup. Krishna shows the Virat Swarup, and in the introduction they talk about what is it that separates us. You know, we have this knowledge that we're all Brahman and everything, and what is it actually that separates us? And it talked about space and time, that what separates us is the space between us. I just found that really interesting because I'm still trying to get my head around it, that we sort of, when we talk about the wave and the ocean, there is a connection between the wave and the ocean. The wave is never separate, actually, from the ocean, and you can get your head around it. But when we talk about human beings being separated from each other and this concept of space and time in between, I found it quite interesting, and I actually struggled to get my head around it as well. I don't know if anyone has any.
Yeah, I mean, the other analogy used in Vedanta is space itself. And space is space. But we construct compartments by saying it's room space, house space, my space, your space, by building a wall. But all that construct is still in space, including the walls. So either way you see it, the idea is one infinite truth. And you cannot get your head around it, is the point, which is why the next verse is coming up. Intellectually, you will not be able to understand this because it's beyond the mind. And yet we need our mind. So what do we do? Verse number 9 is coming. Okay. You all know this is the year of CM75. There are global celebrations, and in the UK, we've got officially a 75-city yatra in the UK and Europe. But chances are we will shoot for 150 yatras. This means every single individual on the screen that I see here needs to get involved in some way to spread the name of Gurudev, to spread the name of the Gita, to spread the name of Hanumanji in any way you know how. If it means talking to your neighbor, if it means giving a talk in your circles, whether it's your friends, your family, your children, this is your service to your Guru. And this is the best service you can offer by helping someone else gain what you have gained, even to whatever small degree it may be. The two flagship events, there's the Yatra, where we're spreading the name of Gurudev, and the flagship events is the Gita Panchamrit and the Hanuman Chalisa. In the UK, in September, Swamiji will be here. The signature event will be a Hanuman Havan. It'll be a 3-day celebration, followed by the final day will be a Hanuman Havan. It could be 108 kunds, it could be 1,008 kunds. I don't know. It depends how it goes. Make sure you're there, spread the word, make sure every breathing Hindu comes. The Gita Panchamrit, each of us must memorize it, teach it to our children and grandchildren. It is the only thing which will bind us as Hindus together. This 5 verses of the book, this idea was actually Swami Swarupananda's idea that we need one common thread to bind Hindus together. And the one thing people cannot argue about in Hinduism, no matter which sampradaya you're from, and there are thousands of them, is the Bhagavad Gita. How do you summarize the Bhagavad Gita in 5 verses? Swamiji went to the ultimate master, Guruji, and he came up with these 5 verses. So collectively, these two have put together something which is here for us and for future generations. So we will end every class by chanting these 5 verses of the Bhagavad Gita. The first 3 is Karma Yoga, what can I do? The 4th is Bhakti Yoga, how do I develop love for God? And the 5th verse is Jnana Yoga, how do I develop this oneness between Jivatma and Paramatma? It's a complete spirituality encapsulated by the Bhagavad Gita in these 5 verses. The other way to see it is the first section of the Gita is Tvam, is about you. The next section is Tat, about that. And the last section is about Asi. Tat Tvam Asi. So we will end with chanting the 5 verses of the Bhagavad Gita, and I need volunteers for the first 5. Anyone for the first one? Smita first, second. Jayashri second, third. Neena third, fourth. Bharti ji fourth, fifth. Jessica fifth. Okay. Shall we begin?
उत्तरेदात्मनात्मानं ज्ञात्मानमवसादयेत् आत्मैव यात्मनो बन्धुः आत्मैव रिपुरात्मनः
कर्मण्यधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्मफलहेतुर्भूः मा ते सङ्गोऽस्त्वकर्मणि.
You're on mute.
यत्करोसि यदश्नासि यज्जुहोसि ददासि यत यत्पश्यासि कौन्तेय तत्कुरुस्व मदर्पणम्.
नन्याश्चिन्तयन्तो मां ये जनाः पर्युपासते तेषां नित्याभियुक्तानां योगक्षेमं वहाम्यहम्.
Jessica?
सर्वधर्मा परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज अहं त्वा सर्वपापेभ्यः मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुचः.
Hari Om. Thank you all very much. We will continue next week and end with the Shanti Path.
Hari Om. Thank you.
Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. Hari Om. It's good to see you all again. Thanks for coming. See you next week.
Thank you.
Hari Om.
Thank you,
Thank
Suresh.
you. Thank you.
Yeah.